Did you know that the difference between a car battery that dies in 2 years and one that survives for a decade has almost nothing to do with brand, price, or luck? Most drivers believe batteries are disposable. 2, maybe 3 years, and that's it. End of story. But that belief didn't come from science. It came from marketing. The uncomfortable truth is this: your battery's lifespan isn't fate. It's a daily decision, a series of small actions or neglect that silently decide whether your money stays in your pocket or ends up at the checkout counter again and again. Manufacturers would love you to believe batteries are weak by nature, because the faster they die, the more you buy. But the mechanics who've been doing this job for decades know something very different. And today, that knowledge stops being a secret. Chapter 1: The silent killer sitting on your battery. Let's start with something almost everyone ignores: that white or green crust growing on your battery terminals. Most people see it and think, I'll clean it later. But what you're looking at isn't dirt, it's acid corrosion. And electrically speaking, it's poison. This corrosion acts like a wall. Your battery may still be charged, but the energy struggles to get through. The starter works harder. The alternator overcompensates. The entire electrical system ages faster. Here's the shocking part: more than 80% of batteries that end up in repair shops aren't actually dead. They're suffocating. A simple cleaning, done regularly, restores proper current flow and instantly reduces stress on the battery. Mechanics see batteries come back to life every single day just from this. Ignore it, and you're slowly strangling your own power source. Chapter 2: The fluid nobody talks about. Now, let's talk about something most drivers don't even realize exists anymore: electrolyte. Many people believe modern batteries don't need attention. Maintenance-free, they say. That's only half true. Inside your battery is a liquid mixture that keeps the chemical reaction alive. Heat causes it to evaporate, slowly, invisibly. When levels drop too low, internal plates are exposed to air and oxidation begins. Once that happens, capacity collapses fast. Experienced mechanics check this regularly, not because it's old-fashioned, but because it works. And here's the key detail most people miss: only distilled water belongs inside a battery. Tap water introduces minerals that destroy the chemistry from the inside out. One small habit can mean the difference between replacing a battery every few years or forgetting when you even bought it. Chapter 3: Why heat is the real enemy. Everyone blames winter for dead batteries, but cold doesn't kill batteries. Heat does. This is an opinion. It's chemistry. For every 10 degrees Celsius increase in temperature, a battery's lifespan can be cut in half. That means a battery designed to last 8 years can die in 2 if it's constantly baked under the hood. City driving, traffic jams, hot asphalt. All of it turns your engine bay into an oven. Professional mechanics know this, which is why many of them quietly use thermal shielding. Nothing fancy, just insulation and reflective material that keeps heat away from the battery casing. Lower temperature means slower chemical decay, and slower decay means years added back to your battery's life. Chapter 4: The energy vampires you never see. Even when your car is turned off, it's not asleep. The clock, the alarm system, the control units, the radio memory, all of them draw power constantly. Leave a car parked for weeks, and the battery doesn't die suddenly. It bleeds out slowly, and that deep discharge causes internal damage most people never see until it's too late. This is why professionals always disconnect the negative terminal during long periods of inactivity. One simple action completely stops the drain and preserves the battery's health. It's not complicated. It's just rarely mentioned. Chapter 5: The voltage myth. Here's a dangerous belief: if the car starts, the battery is fine. Not true. A battery can start your engine and still be in serious trouble. Voltage is the real indicator of health, not just whether the engine cranks. When voltage drops too low, sulfation begins. Hard crystals form on internal plates, reducing capacity and efficiency. The battery becomes weaker, even if it seems functional. Professionals don't guess. They measure, and those who measure regularly avoid breakdowns, sudden failures, and premature replacements. Chapter 6. The damage of a full discharge. A fully discharged battery isn't just empty, it's injured. Think of it like this. 1 deep discharge is a warning. 2 cause damage. 3 permanently shorten its life. 4 often kill it completely. Most people only react when the car refuses to start. By then, the damage is already done. That's why experienced technicians never let batteries fall below critical voltage. Prevention always costs less than replacement. Chapter 7. How professionals recharge batteries. Cheap chargers push power. Smart chargers heal batteries. There's a massive difference. Professional-grade chargers analyze the battery, adjust current, dissolve early sulfate crystals, and rebalance internal cells. This is why racing teams and fleet operators keep batteries alive for years under extreme conditions. 1 overnight maintenance charge per month can reverse months of damage. It's not magic, it's controlled chemistry. Chapter 8. The generator mistake that quietly destroys batteries. Most drivers blame the battery when the car refuses to start. But in reality, the battery is often just a victim. The real problem hides in plain sight: the alternator. Think of the alternator as the lungs of your electrical system. Every time the engine runs, it feeds the battery the energy it needs to recover. But when that airflow is restricted, the battery slowly suffocates. Not dramatically, quietly. Here's where most people get it wrong. They assume charging is either working or not working, on or off, black or white. But alternator problems almost never announce themselves loudly. They operate in the gray zone: weak charging, inconsistent voltage, small losses that add up day after day. The most common cause is something almost insulting in its simplicity: belt tension. If the belt is even slightly loose, the alternator slips. It still turns, but not efficiently. The battery never fully recharges. Instead, it lives in a constant state of partial exhaustion, and that's the most destructive condition a battery can be in. On the other hand, a belt that's too tight is just as dangerous. Excessive tension destroys alternator bearings, overheats components, and eventually leads to charging spikes or complete failure. When that happens, the battery doesn't just age faster, it gets abused. Professional mechanics understand this balance perfectly. They don't wait for warning lights. They don't wait for breakdowns. They check belt tension routinely because they know a misadjusted alternator can quietly kill even a brand new, high-quality battery in less than a year. And here's the frustrating part. This problem doesn't feel urgent. The car still drives. The lights still work. The engine still starts until one day it doesn't. By the time most drivers replace the battery, the real culprit, the charging system, is still there, ready to destroy the next one. Chapter 9. Why most dead batteries aren't actually dead. Sulfation is one of those words most drivers have never heard. Yet it's responsible for killing more batteries than age ever will. It doesn't happen overnight, and that's exactly why it's so dangerous. Every time a battery sits partially discharged, tiny sulfate crystals form on the internal plates. At first, they're soft, flexible, reversible, but over time, they harden, they attach themselves permanently. And once that happens, the battery loses its ability to store and release energy efficiently. From the outside, everything looks normal. The battery charges. The car starts. Nothing seems wrong, but internally capacity is shrinking. Performance drops. The margin for error disappears. One cold morning, one forgotten light, 1 week of inactivity, and suddenly the battery is labeled dead. Most drivers throw it away. Professionals don't. They know that controlled charging cycles can break down early sulfate buildup. Not with brute force, not with cheap chargers blasting current into battery, but with patience and precision. Slow charging, rest periods, rebalancing internal cells. This process doesn't just slow damage, it reverses it. Batteries that appear weak regain strength. Voltage stabilizes. Capacity returns. In many cases, up to 90% of the original performance can be restored. That's why some people swear their battery just won't die, while others replace theirs every couple of years. It's not luck, it's intervention. Sulfation is silent, but it's not unstoppable. Chapter 10. The simplest protection everyone laughs at. Let's end with something so simple that many people refuse to take it seriously. Petroleum jelly. Yes, that petroleum jelly. After cleaning battery terminals properly, a thin layer applied to the metal creates a barrier most people underestimate. It seals out moisture. It blocks acid fumes. It prevents oxygen from starting the corrosion process all over again. Corrosion isn't just cosmetic. It increases resistance. It restricts current flow. It forces the battery to work harder than it should. Even a perfectly healthy battery can fail to start a car if corrosion builds up enough to choke the connection. Mechanics see this constantly. Batteries blamed, replaced, discarded, when the real issue was a dirty, unprotected terminal. This tiny habit costs almost nothing, but it prevents one of the most common causes of premature battery failure. It's not impressive. It's not high-tech. It doesn't sound like a secret. And that's exactly why it works. So now I'll ask you something important. How long did your last battery last? And what car do you drive? Was it really just old? Or was it quietly neglected? If this video saves even one battery replacement, then it's already done its job. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.